So this is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and we are here at the Sefer Tiva Kabbanos Al Shara Kabbanos. We're going to learn Chanukah. Now this is an old version that I have here of the Tiv, so it probably has newer versions now. But this is what I've got, and this is where we're going to go. And I want to remind everybody that we're learning Sod here. So if you find it a little bit difficult to understand, then you have to understand that Sod is not so easy to understand. But on the other hand, it's for those of us who love it, it's incredibly sweet. So let's come over here and let's go to the first rush. This is taken from Shara Kavanos. On the top, where we read on this part, that is, these are the words of Rabbi of the ARI, the holy ARI, as spoken to his Talmud, Rabbi Chaim Vital. This is the first rush, the Inyan Chanukah. So let's see what he says. We'll learn some of the top, and then we'll learn this Tiva Kavanos really flushes out a lot more. Sometimes we'll get a chance to look at the Shefa Kavanos down below. It's an argument usually about different kinds of problems that the Tiv saw or that Kabbalists see in general in the route. So he says, Seder Chalokas Aneros Kol Yinohin Kanusach Hakas Bebeis Yosef. So he said he follows the Beis Yosef. Zal. Al HaTurim, according to the Beis Yosef, following the Torah, V'gam B'Sefer Shulchan Aruch, and also over there. V'hu ki b'layla harishon, and that is like this: Yadlik haner shebitzad yamino. So what you do is you light the candle that is most to the right. Shu hayoser rachok min pesach mikol shevaneros. So apparently you're putting the as much as possible, you're putting the menorah on the right side of the door, and that this would make it as far away as possible. Belel sheni yadlik ner sheni lo shahu yoser samach al pesach, which will be a little bit closer to the door. Yoser min rishon, then more than the four. Va'achakach yifnech b'yomim b'yadlik ner rishon, and then you should go to the right and light the first candle. Ve'enal derek zecha kol shar halaylos. All the rest of the nights you do it like that. Until you find Shevalayda Achrona Madlik Aner Shabitzad Smolo, you'll be the one that you'll be lighting the candle that or the light which is closest to the door, which would be all the way on the left side. Shuhanercha Yosef Kar B'Samuch Al Pesach. A maskil bow, and you begin there. The nifna tzad yamino. So you'd start in the new candle and you go to the right. A karav kodim. So whatever is closer will be the first one. Nimskia aner harisha mekulam. So it comes out that the very first light, shehu b'sad yamin amadlik, which is on the right side of the person who's lighting. Nidlak achron b'layla achrona will be lit last on the last night. So let's look over here. We're just going to read the light print in the Tiva Kavanos and see what he said. So as I say to Chadlokas ner Chanukah cho yinohig l'beinach Arizal, kafi shitas the Beis Yosef, so he followed the sheet of the Beis Yosef. Belel Rishon Shal Chanukah Yadlik Aner Shebitzad Yeminu Shal Madlik. You say the one on the right side, that's where you start. Hainach Shemadlik B'Bayis Al Yedei Mezuzah Yadlik Aner Yemini. So when you put this near the Hainu Shemadlik B'Bayis Al Yedei Al Yad HaMezuzah, on the side of the Mezuzah, Yadlik Aner Yemini, you will be lighting the candle which is furthest to the right. Shuha Yoser Rachel in the Pesach, which will be furthest away from the door, because Sharchaneros. Now we heard this in the Rav already, so let's see what else he says. The Mevoyer Rav, Shnei Tenoim. So more than this, the Rav says two different conditions. The first one is that you begin the lighting from the one that's most on the right. So this first light, this should be as far away as possible from all the rest of them. In other words, it'd be the far end. Now the next light, the next night, then you're going to go and light for the second light, small, which will be on the left, further to the left of the menorah, Shuhu Yosef Samach of the Pesach, which would be one slot neck closer to the door. Min and Ner Harishon Shehidlik Etmol, that you lit yesterday. In other words, the first one, the second day will be, the second will be more to the left. V'achakach Yifnim is small, the Yomim, and then you go back from the left side to the right. So the Hadik and the Arishon Shehiduk Etmar, and then you light the one that you lit yesterday, which is the one on the furthest right. Okay, then said the same Yam Shechakol Halelos, you will go like this every single night. Hainu call Yom Yaskel Lahadlik Haner HaYosef Samach of the Pesach, every night that you're going to add to them, you're going to put the one that's closest to the door. Then you'll go to the right and light the next one, etc. Now let's go on a little bit more and let's see what else the Tiv has to say. The Nimsa Shabbalel Shemini Chanukah, so that you get to the 8th night, Maskel Lachadik Min Haner B'tzad Smolo, so you'll be dealing with the candle that's on the far left. Shehu HaYoser Karav Al Pesach Mekulam, which is closer to the door. Ubo Yamaskil the Nifna B'tzad Yamino, and from there you'll turn and you will start moving to the right. Lahade Kol Shmona Neros Kasidrim a Karav Kodim, that you will light the next one, and then the next one after that, and the next one after that. Now he said the Nimsa Kihaner HaRishon Shehidlik B'Laylo HaRishon, so that the first candle that you light on the first night, HaRishon Yishuchu B'Tzad Smolo or B'Tzad Yamino, and the first one which would be on the right, Shalamadlik Hu Hanadidlik B'Leil Shmini Achron Mekulim. So there's, as it's going, that on the 8th night, the first one that you lit will be the last one that will be lit. Let's look over here on on the Rav here, and what he says. He's Amnam Nabar Techila. Let me explain to begin with. Inyan Kedushas a Yom Ma'elo. So this is what we're looking for. We're looking to understand the soul. And then later he's going to come and he's going to give us an idea about what the brachos do when you light the candles. Emotion is and we'll explain like this. On Shabbos and the holidays, for Rosh Hashanah and new moons, Yesh Bechem Tosefes Kedusha, there's an additional amount of Kedusha that applies to them al Yemei HaChol, more than the ordinary days of the week. Gam b'Chanukah, so also in Chanukah, b'Purim, Yesh Bechem Tosefes Kedusha, there's an additional amount of Kedusha in them, Yosef Yemei HaChol, more than regular weekdays. Amnam ein medregasam shava the medregas of Shabbos v'Yom Tov Rosh Chodesh. So the kedusha that you're talking about is not the same level as you find on Shabbos or Yom Tov or Rosh Chodesh. So all of those will be explained in their places, but here we're talking about the lights of Hanukkah. So let's go down here to number Tes, and we'll see that the Tiv will review it again. Inaz hine arav cholik the buyer inyan akadusha hakadoida the eka the eicha be'etzim yemei Chanukah. So now he's going to really try to get to the real to the depth of what is a kedusha of Chanukah. V'achar kach the buyer inyan akabana sheyakabe be'etzim irusay brachos. So then there are special kabbanas also when you make the brachos. So here we're learning kabbanos. What do you have in mind? How do you bring yourself closer to Hashem by doing this? Sehine kamosha kasavda hamafarshim b'shar kavanos shebeshavasas v'yomim tovim v'rosh chadashim yesh b'chem tosefes kedusha. So we heard that before. They have more kedusha. There's an extra amount of kedusha. Then al yemei hachol al sheyesh kamechiluka b'nechem, but they're all different. Then he says, "Tay, to know this." Hine gam b'mei Chanukah and Purim, also in Chanukah and Purim time, ike b'china shel tosefes kedusha me'ein kedusha Shabbos. So there's also an additional. It's similar to the kedusha that comes with Shabbos. Additional kedusha comes with Shabbos, Yom Tov, and Rosh Chodesh. Yosef b'mei hachol haragilim. So it's not just like the regular days, but then again, it's not exactly like Shabbos, Yom Tov, and Rosh Chodesh. Amnam al sheyesh b'chem tosefes kedusha. But even though we understand that there is in them an additional amount of kedusha, ein madregasim shava the bedregas Shabbat v'Yom Tov Rosh Chodesh, but it's still not the same as Shabbos and Rosh Chodesh. Either the Shabbat v'Yom Tov Rosh Chodesh, so those days, Yom Tov, Rosh Chodesh, Shabbos, Yesh Kedusha Yosef Chanukah, they have a higher level of kedusha than Chanukah. Chanukah is like a weekday in some ways. Upashatu the B'Shav of Yom Tov Rosh Chodesh, Ikum Musaf, over there, we have a Musaf. Hainu carbon, that is, there's a carbon that's offered in addition. Masha Ein came b'Chanukah, which we don't have in Chanukah. The Ein he Osach Kedusha v'Osach Ha'ara, because this is not where you find this Kedusha, this Ha'ara. The calls the Manju Yesh Lo Kedusha B'Fnei Atzma. But in any case, it has a Kedusha which really is its own. So let's see this little piece right here, and let's go this Ba'ara Kulam B'Shar Kavanos. So this is all of these things are explained in other places in the Shara Kavanos. Shabbat b'Mekoma, v'Rosh Chodesh b'Mekoma, v'Kol Yom Tov b'Mekoma. Okay, so that's really where we're going to stop today. He's going to get into more, and we're going to find out more about the Kedusha, the special Kedusha of Chanukah. This is Baruch Flashman, Tikkun, Elevator Call.